Hey guys, have another boss guide today. We're going to be covering Hungering Destroyer. It's one of the most suggested things to me on my stream is please make something about Hungering Destroyer. And we have a pretty good perspective because we've actually done a few strats, came up with some before the raid that we didn't use that a lot of people are using now. And it can make it a bit easier, but also what I really want to show you is this is a great fight to show you the difference in raid leading and what raid leading can really do for a boss. Now, this boss isn't very hard in general, but it's a boss that can be majorly carried by raid leading in a lower ranked guild by sacrificing a lot of your personal play to make your guild better, and I'll kind of show you a bit of that. All right, so I'm going to go and show you the strat real quick. This is the one most people are used to, right? I kind of did a little bit of a graph. I'll kind of go over all this in a second. Before I get into anything else, I want to, I'll show you guys like healer cooldown management with the many different healer comps you can run on this fight. Before I show you that though, this is different than our progression strat. Funny story, our progression strat is what we did on testing was what we ended up running. But midway through the week, I type in our Discord, hey, what about this strat, guys? Read this and soak before the consume. The line's the only thing you need to immune kill. Basically, before progression, I just brainstorm a bunch of ideas. And this is an idea I came up with, which is basically the same strat if you want to look at it up close. It's right here. We're basically, it's the same kind of strat. It's just, instead of a diamond, it would be shifted into a square, but it's the same thing, right? And then I saw a couple of guilds actually doing something really similar to this after I had this idea, and I was watching them on Heroic Week, and for some reason they were really struggling. I'm assuming now in hindsight that it was like an alt run where they didn't understand the boss very well, or they weren't doing it all the way right. And so I talked myself off the ledge on it, and I was like, all right, we're not gonna do this strat. It looks really bad. And then we do our awful strat for, well, it's not an awful strat. Like I'll explain our strat we used for progression and why we used it, because I think some people actually tried it and it's like the worst possible scenario. It's just a personal responsibility. We have the player skill. It's an easy enough boss. Let's not worry about making a good strat for it and just play through it. And then people would copy these strats and be like, dude, this fight's so hard. And it's like, when you don't have the player skill, those strats are just horrible. And that was a perfect example of that. Oh my gosh, we used to do those on every boss for years. But anyways, this is by far the best way to do the boss. I've seen some people do like 4 tank strats and stuff. Don't ever do that. There's no reason. My suggestions for comp, always 2 tank. Adding more tanks is just a bad idea. Amount of melee doesn't matter. Amount of range doesn't matter. 4 or 5 healers is interesting. It probably depends on your comp and what you have available to you. So you can do this with any healer comp, and I'm going to hopefully show you guys here how to do this with a worse comp available to you. But the best comp you can run consists of 2 Resto Shamans and 2 Disc Priests. If you can 4 heal with that, meaning you have a Prot or a Rep Paladin for the 3% DR from the Devotion Aura passive, then you run that. That's fine. You don't need to 5 heal this. The reason most people do is just because the simple act of adding a priest and a shaman, 2 priests and 2 shamans to the group just massively makes everything easier. And I'll kind of explain why. I'm sure a lot of you already know, and you're maybe looking at this for other reasons, but it's very good. So if you have that, you can 4 heal. If not, a lot of people, they don't have that exact healing comp. Maybe they have a Holy Paladin, maybe they have a Resto Druid or something, and to try to reach that, they add a 5th healer. Sometimes people are adding a 5th healer just to add the 2nd shaman, which in my opinion is more important than the 2nd priest. But the reason is this, and as you'll see, and we're going to go through the video after this, and then I'll also have a poll of me raid leading, not my guild through this fight, but a lower ranked guild through this fight, so you can kind of see how I would deal with maybe someone around your skill level. And see exactly how we approach that and how I raid let it. But let's talk about why Resto Shaman and Disc are really good. So there's actually very little points in this fight that kill you. There's a lot of stuff going on, but there's nothing really lethal. The obvious most lethal thing you've seen is people getting double hit with volatile ejection. That's just a personal responsibility thing. People will get better at that over pulls, but it is something people will have to work out on their own. Usually the biggest issue with people getting double hit is in this strat is people being too far under the boss's melee. You want to set max melee range. But after that, it's Desolate and Expunge. So for healing cooldowns, the reason why 2 priests is super good is because you get to Spirit Shell every single Desolate. Discipline Priest 1 does Desolate 1, Consume 1, Desolate 4, Desolate 5, right? So every wave is every time the boss does Desolate 1, Desolate 2 consume, it just repeats the entire fight. And then that's Disc Priest 1 timers. Disc Priest 2 timers is Desolate 2, so you delay your Spirit Shell in the pull just so you have it up for Desolate, and then going through to the Expunge if you can. And then you do Desolate 2, Desolate 3, and then Consume 2. So if you actually look at a cooldown map over a whole fight, you have a Spirit Shell with 2 Disc Priests for every Desolate and every Consume is covered. And that's very strong because you can actually give the Miasma people absorbs but not heal them. So it just hard carries that. It also hard carries a giant hit in which you're now more top for the Expunge, and we'll go into that in a second. Now, if you have 1 or less Disc Priest, obviously you can do it without that. If you do have 1 Disc Priest, though, use the original timers. So do it so you have the Disc Priest number 1 timers. For Shamans, the main reason Shaman's good, well, I mean, they're pretty good spot healing on this fight just in general, which kind of happens when people get high stacks. And it's also just for Spirit Link. The strat on this fight is everyone at the end for the Consume pulls the boss to square. One thing I like to do is have the tanks right after the volatile ejections before the Consume actually pull the boss here. Everyone runs in, takes the gate, goes to square. And then the Spirit Link just keeps the Miasmas alive. Let's take this time to actually talk about the Consume. If you have 2 DKs, I think it's easy enough to just commit 1 AMZ to each Consume, but a lot of people go overboard with the rest of the cooldowns. I've seen people assign both a barrier to each Consume. You do not need, a barrier AMZ and a Spirit Link to live that. You could make the argument that it's for boss damage because he does leech health from you, and it's technically boss damage over the course of the fight. But it's pretty reduced with how far you are away, so it's not a huge deal. And also, I'll tell you how to deal with it if you don't have 2 Spirit Links and you have 1 or 0. It is a little bit more difficult, but it's certainly doable. We've done it a bunch in a lot of our groups. I would recommend not barriering the Consume in that scenario. If you guys specifically, or if you have 2 barriers, barrier each Consume, but use all of your AMZs to help people. And I'll kind of show you when I go through the video of how to do it on the fly. Now, a lot of people, I understand a lot of raid leaders like to just hard assign things and not worry about it, where I am very I like to improvise. I like to have a few cooldowns at my disposal to use because usually someone's not low here, but oh, wait, 4 people at orange got picked? This guy got the triangle miasma, this guy got the diamond miasma, this guy got the star miasma, and literally the person who has orange is the healer on orange. The only person who can soak him is here, and he's at 10%, right? That's where I like to call, hey, this guy, AMZ on the orange marker, and maybe that makes him live, right? So this fight is all about accounting for very small things that can kill people, and you just want to keep as many people alive as long as possible. I know it sounds stupid, but there's just random things that can give people, usually miasma targets. So using things you don't need as much for there. It might feel better for overall reduction to have all of your damage reductions here, but in reality, all you need is one thing. You need a Spirit Link, and you need a damage reduction cooldown. If you already have one of those, don't just put a million things down. You're kind of wasting them. You can use them to save people later in the fight. If you only have 1 Spirit Link, I would recommend, especially if you have 1 Disc Priest, I would recommend not using it on the first Consume, because the Disc Priest timers has Spirit Shell on the first Consume, which means that basically the second one, I would just barrier the second one and Spirit Link that one. Or barrier the first one and then Spirit Link the second one. Every time you're not Spirit Linking, you would barrier or use a bunch of extra cooldowns. And very important, if the Miasma people are ever going to die, it is better to refresh stacks than to die. If you're for sure going to die and you don't have Spirit Link, just jump in 3 or 4 people, get healed real quick, and then go back out, right? That's always the move there. As far as other healing cooldowns, generally speaking, you want to spot heal during the parts of the phase where there's not a lot happening. And it's after Desolates, you need something every time. Every single time. After a Desolate Healing Tide, after a Desolate Trank, after a Desolate, Salve, Hymn, anything, you should have at least one thing after every Desolate if you want to, move your cooldowns around. That's the time, because you may think, yeah, you can live Expunge with bigger circles, and you can, but once you start running out of room, it just results in a ton of deaths. So I would just highly, highly recommend that you have those healing CDs specifically after Desolates, not before if you can help it. Well, I mean, unless you're low, obviously. All right, so that's the general idea. Now I'm going to go into now watching the VOD. And again, if you guys want to look at how this is done, I want you to note that I'm not showing you this as how I would do it with Limit. I'm raid leading another guild. And at the end of this VOD, I will play the whole thing through so you can listen to my raid leading specifically. But I want you to note how this is different from how a lot of guilds do it. This is a big raid leading difference thing. What a lot of guilds do, as you'll see right on the poll for them, they're going to get a yell weak aura that goes over people's heads. These guys yelling 100, yelling 100. They have absorb, so they're not going to go lower, right? The idea in the yell strat is basically if you don't have a raid leader or you have a raid leader who really struggles, for it to be optimal at least. Obviously, if you use it, I'm not like, but it's so no one really talks about it. It's like people just kind of do it in the back of their mind. But that is exactly what raid leading is supposed to do. What raid leading is supposed to do is make everyone else not think as much as possible so they can just play their character and do as well as they possibly can. So that's how I choose to do this fight. How most raid leaders would do this fight is, again, they just call out maybe 1 or 2 abilities. On this, it's going to be, you do not soak someone's miasma until I tell you, and I will tell you exactly who it is and how many people to go in. And because of that, it heavily reduces stacks. Now, that's a lot of micromanaging, and you may think like after you tried it, like I was actually just talking to Courage about this. Courage just messaged me today saying like, yeah, dude, I was thinking about doing that, but like I notice a huge dip in my play when I'm trying to raid lead like that. But that's the point. You should feel that. If you're ever raid leading correctly, you at some point on a harder mechanical boss, which this one has like a lot of like kind of intricate mechanics, not a hard boss, like there's enough to like help with. You should feel like, man, I'm really struggling to play my character with how much I'm raid leading. That means you're doing the right thing. If you always, if you never feel that way, you're probably not giving enough effort, straight up. And when you first start getting good at raid leading, that is going to be something that gets better over time. Is you will get better at playing your character, because raid leading at the highest level and being as good as it as you can be is basically playing your character in your peripheral vision and then fully raid leading even while you're playing the game, and as opposed to how a lot of people do it and new raid leaders do, where they're fully playing their character and they raid lead and pay attention to weak auras over here like this in their peripheral vision. Just a small thought about this fight, just to show you the difference in the strats. Okay, and I will let you listen to it at the end. So as you notice here, I never have anyone soak before this first desolate, and here's why. What do you guys see? You guys see Azu? He doesn't have Spirit Shell in this group. Okay, so right here I would say I need 2 people in Star, and don't soak anyone until after the Desolate. And specifically on the first Desolate, you don't need to soak anyone. If you have a competent Disc Priest, you do not need to soak a single miasma until the end of the first expunge. I'll show you why. See, Desolate cast, as soon as Desolate is over, it's already going on new people. So even if the guy, the Lit King, is low, it doesn't matter. Now here you only have 3 seconds to heal people up, and they're not going to tick down enough on the expunge, right? So you move out for expunge, no CDs needed. Now all 4 of the people are going to need soaking, so I'll say soak all 4 markers. And as you guys see, unless any of the groups are really screwed and they're listening, you're going to see them all get healed really fast. This is why I like the healing strat of me calling it rather than people YOLOing it. If people are soaking at the beginning of the fight when they absolutely do not need to with 1 disc, they have 9 to 10 stacks right there. And then they're either they're gonna still soak them and get hit really hard, or they're not gonna soak them because they're high on stacks. And this is when they actually need to be soaked. Because if any 4 of these people at that health that they came out of the expunge 10 seconds ago, look at this right here. If any of them get this volatile ejection and they're not healed above like 30, 40, they're dead. So that's a death point. There's in the cycle of Desolate Expunge ejection, Desolate Expunge ejection, there are very few points that someone actually dies unless extreme negligence, and that's one of them. So just, it's very important of knowing when you actually need to heal people. And generally speaking, it's right after Desolates and right after expunges. If new ones aren't wearing off. Now right here, I would tell all of them, get out, get out, get out, stop soaking. Why? Is this guy at 60? Yes. Could he use a soak? Sure. But there's 3 seconds left on miasma, you just get out. See, usually when you have people just focusing on the yells and you don't have one person micromanaging all of it, you're going to have something like people are going to see someone at 64, but they're not. You may have people notice people's health in their just general awareness outside of playing their character, but they're not going to have their health and the timer on their miasma. Someone's going to get a stack soaking this guy for 0 reason. And why I say 0 reason is because you're getting a stack, you're taking extra damage, and in 2 seconds, he's at 30, 40. Okay, and then someone just heals him. He can be healed now. Look, he's at 100% now, right? It's only about keeping people alive when you have to. So here's a Desolate. After this Desolate goes off, everyone gets in. Heal them to full before Expunge if you can. Look at all their healths go up. It needs to be that clean. So the Expunge circles are this small, right? Once people get a little bit more top tier, you have so much room. Now, as far as putting Expunges on the edge of the room, this group of people are very vigilant, and they were doing it, as safe as you could do it, because it's not really a huge damage check as long as everyone stays alive. It's actually pretty much a non-existent damage check. Our guild does not do this. What our guild does on the Expunge is every single person who doesn't have miasma and is topped stays on the boss, especially melee, and all they do is simply soak their Expunge. This solves 2 problems. Number 1, you get extra boss damage. Number 2, it allows there to be more room for people who actually can't or have miasma to place their things. Because usually if you have everyone run out, you'll see at the end of this exact VOD I have with them, you guys will see what the room looks like if you have everyone run out every time. So I would suggest doing that. However, it is scary if you're a raid leader, because if everyone starts doing it, then this boss just becomes incredibly hard to heal. I wouldn't recommend that as much for like a first kill strat, maybe is the way to put it. Okay, so like I said, I have the tanks pull the boss away for consume there, which is good. If you notice on this pull with them, you're going to notice the entire pull, they don't use barrier once. You can use barriers here, but like I said, it's kind of overkill. It's you do it because there's damage happening and you can't do anything else. Sure, it's not the worst idea, right? But I would much rather have that barrier in case something goes wrong. Like, look at everyone's health. Everyone's like, what, 80%? The miasmas are a little bit lower because the link was early. But now they don't have miasma and they can be topped and everyone else is topped, so it's just easy healing, right? This is the only miasma set that's different, by the way, and I'll go over this in a second, because the other ones always repeat. They have the exact same timers. The one that comes right out of the consume is different because on the pull, you get them a little bit delayed because of like, it gives you time to like set up and everything. Like for example, let's say right now, this monk, Selexia, is low, and all 4 people assigned to triangle have the other miasmas, or they're just like in the wrong spot or something, and then Selexia gets targeted by this volatile ejection, and they're at 40%, and they don't have karma or diffuse, right? I can say, hey, barrier on Selexia. And then so barrier will allow that person to live the volatile ejection, and then it also allows other people to soak that person with barrier, reducing their damage taken as well, right? So it just all depends. So this is the one where you need to soak the most, which is why it's super important that you don't refresh your stacks in the first consume, because you need to heal them. Look at the healing compared to most other waves, right? Like most other waves, people are topped going into the thing. After the consume, the miasmas are already at 50, so you both need to have them live this Desolate and also kind of top them for the Expunge. But the good thing about, so we all heal these super fast. I tell them all to get out, don't soak the new ones. And then since these other people didn't have miasma, the new people will always be topped here. And because of that, you don't need to soak them in the 4 seconds it takes for Expunge to go off. So then now here you get a chance to reset your stacks again. You go out, you go out, you go out. Again, also, this is only for my strat. If people are just YOLOing it, obviously people will have stacks randomly all the time, and it will be less consistent. You pull it in. All 4 people need soaking, and then now you guys get it, right? It's just a rotation. So I won't go over it too much, but that's generally it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's like super pressing on this fight, because it really is just kind of rinse and repeat. I will say one thing you may want to stress to your raiders, or just know for yourself, is it's important maybe in the first couple pulls of this boss to encourage people after they get miasma to actually go back to their marker. Like, for example, this guy had to move to star. He's not normally in the star group, and he's going to lose miasma in 5 seconds. He may, as a player, just want to, like, be like, oh, I'll just move back onto the boss. So he just lost star. He went back to his group at triangle. A lot of players might just, like, stay where they're at. So it might be good to enforce early on that This boss isn't really about like mongoing damage. You just kind of want to, you just kind of got to play safe for like 5 minutes and you just kind of kill it. It's that simple. All right, at the end of this, I'm actually going to rewind this and play it all the way through without me in the way, and you guys can see other me, and I will let you guys listen to how I raid led this for this guild's first kill of this boss. This was like a couple weeks ago. And then I will see you guys in the next video.
Call it out, that way you can call up people to cover from different groups.
We can work it out, it's fine. Oh, there's no pre-pods anymore, it doesn't even matter. Get to your markers. Beams. Okay, they 3 have Spirit Shell except for Star. So Aaron in that melee right next will soak Star here to give him the help triangle here. Heal triangle. Oh no, we're good, we're good. New miasma, sorry. Okay. Expunge. After this, immediately Nova, you need AMS. Good. Soak your, all 4 need soaking. All 4 need soaking. All 4 need soaking. Beams are coming right after this. Okay, you guys can stop soaking now. They're fine. New miasmas are in 3. They're all full health. Get out, get out. Spread. Don't get cleaved here. Good. All right, new miasmas. They're all full right now, but they're going to need... Don't soak now. If you don't have stacks, heal them after this desolate. It's lit on your marker or on your shit. Good. Soak your guys. Expunged in 3 seconds. This is... let's do an early rally, Murdoch, just now. It'll help just in case someone goofs. Good. Get back in. New miasmas. These are the miasmas that have to move early for the consume at the end of this next thing, okay? Okay, so you guys do the ejection. Miasmas, if you don't have ejection, go to the consume now. Go. Everyone else ready to take the gate? One thing I forgot when I was talking about this before, Rally and Devo. You want to use them on expunges when anyone is low. Don't feel like you have to get them on cooldown. Only use them on expunges when people are low. Sorry, going back to the video. Who is that person? Okay, who's the miasma just took the gate? Don't do that. Yeah, just don't. Yeah, you're good. Everyone, spread. All of you. Good, go back in. New miasmas. That's exactly right. Reposition the boss, though. Get to your markers. Dude, Ventir's so good for getting your markers. Holy shit. Spread with your markers here. Star needs help. Star. That's a really good disperse, by the way. It's good. Desolate. Heal the markers up after this. Actually, no, new miasmas. Fuck the miasmas. They don't matter. Get in the new ones. No, don't get in the new ones. They're all full, and they have Spirit Shell as well. Just heal people here. After this, immediately go back to your markers, expunge people, and soak the people up. All of them needed except for Nova. Good. Soak them up here. Spread for Volatile here. This is a really good pull, by the way. This is clean as fuck. Spread for miasma, by the way. Spread for miasma now. Spread for miasma. Good. New people, get to your markers. Desolate in 4 seconds. Okay, triangle needs help. Help soak triangle now. Now. Good. And help star and diamond. Orange is fine. Star and diamond for the expunge. Star needs to be healed up. Expunge right now. This is Devo. Devo now. Okay, new miasmas on the way back in. Get to your markers. Is a hunter turtling here? Hunter should be turtling here, right? It's a flare. Flare, you should turtle and soak, yeah. Okay, beam here, beam. Kalistar needs a personal, I think. Soak star. Okay, no, you're good. Go out for consume. Take the gate if you don't have miasma. And then guys get stacked up and link immediately. Good. And spread for miasma right now. All of you. Spread. Don't refresh stacks. Perfect. You guys are owning. Get to your markers now. Beams in a couple seconds. Beams now. Don't cleave. Be really careful, Aaron. Good. Okay, I want you guys to heal them. Star here and triangle. Orange and diamond are fine. Get out. Good. New miasmas now. Spread. Good. Get to your markers. Okay. Expunge. Spread out. This is no rally yet. It's fine. Just personal here. Personal. Hellstone after it if you don't have miasma. If you need it. Diamond needs help. Diamond. Good. Now out of miasmas, they'll all live. Except for Diamond, actually. Diamond needs one more tick. Okay, everyone else is fine. New miasmas after this volatile. Spread. Good. You guys are good. Everyone's alive. You're fine. Desolate in 3 seconds. After this desolate, I need huge healing on these targets, okay? Huge healing on these guys. Heal them now. Go, all of you. Okay, expunge in 3 seconds. You guys should all be perfectly fine. Animore, you might want a non-turtle personal. Good. Okay, this is the last miasma. You guys will be moving out after the next volatile. Get to your spots. Get to your spots. Give them a little bit of healing. Just like touch them up a little bit. Just a little babby touch. Okay, miasmas go early. Miasmas go early. Go, go, go. Don't take the gate. Everyone else takes the gate. This is the other Spirit Link and AMZ. Okay, be in the AMZ or Spirit Link, guys. Good. Spread now. Spread now. Spread now. Spread now. Spread now. Good. Get to your new positions. You guys are fucking slamming right now. Really good. Triangle, move back a little bit. As long as you're in melee. Good. Soak star. Star, diamond, and orange. All 3 of them. Not... Yeah. Okay, leave them alone now. Nova, do you have a personal for the expunge?
I can ID up.
Yeah, then you'll be good. Okay, live the expunge here. This is rally, Murdoch. Rally. There's like very little room on this side of the room, but that's okay. Get back under. You guys are getting beams in 5 seconds. Oh, heal miasma. Star, diamond, and triangle all need healing. Good. This is going to be beams. Beams. Don't cleave. If you guys rip 1 hellstone right now, if you guys don't have this shit. Hellstone or health pot is what that means. Soak everyone's desolate up here. Orange will need the most help. Okay, this is going to be your Devo on this expunge, okay? Nebulize in 3 seconds. Okay, spread for this. Janzi might die, but it's okay. Oh, you're good. Get good clears here. All you guys have to do is live this next consume and you kill the boss. You have more than enough damage for the enrage. Do volatile ejections. Spread here. Volatile. Don't get cleaved. Res him immediately. Consume. Do this consume and you kill the boss. Miasmas, stay out of the way. Everyone else gate. Live in the Spirit Link. Bitters, get in the Spirit Link. Bitters. It's okay. You can res him as well. Go back in and kill the boss. There's literally no way you wipe. Good job. There's literally no way you can wipe. I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be right back.
Yeah, the call for the miasmas moving early made all the difference in the world.
Hey, next shot.
Hell yeah, guys!
Let's go.
All right, so there was that. Again, if you guys have any questions specifically for me, put them in the comments. Again, I'm still new to YouTube, and I'm trying to get better at this. It's a different environment in YouTube than Twitch, and I'm doing my best. So if you guys think I can get better, if I'm missing any key parts of the stuff you guys want to hear, I'm not as interested in doing the normal guide where I go over every single mechanic and like its textbook definition from the boss. I'm assuming at this point you guys are like on the boss and you get it. And really what I'm looking for is just the extra stuff that those things don't tell you. And just from my perspective, having done these bosses probably more than anyone else, we do a lot of these bosses 4 to 5 times a week on Mythic, right? So I've seen them at all eye levels. Our guild are terrible alt runs with characters that should never be in a raid. Other guilds that, are lower ranked stuff. So I've seen a lot. So just let me know. And again, like and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Thanks.